Top of the 7th inning here at Phoenix Municipal Stadium as the Sun Devils lead the USC Trojans 4-0. Blaine McCormick and Josh Schaefer here for you on Pac-12 Plus. As coming to the plate now for the Trojans is going to be the designated hitter for today's ball game. That's Stephen Dubb, the junior. Dubb in his 2 plate appearances on the day is 1 for 1 with a double back in the top of the 2nd inning. But at the top of the 4th, flew out to the second baseman, Alika Williams, for the Sun Devils as he swings through strike 1 right there. The count sits at 0-1. Current lines across the board, 3 hits for the Trojans compared to the Sun Devils 6. Only 1 error in the contest that was made by USC. And they have a man warming up in the bullpen. A swing and a miss from Dubb on that one leads the count to 0-2. Still on the mound for Arizona State is Alec Marsh. Pitching 6 innings of work so far. He's out there for his 7th, only allowed 3 hits, 1 walk, and also 4 strikeouts to his name. As the 0-2 pitch is in the dirt, well blocked by Lyle Lynn. Count moves to 1-2.
And for Stephen Dubb, a good opportunity to get things started for USC as they find themselves trailing by a wide margin here in the top of the 7th. But he was a part of that 3 consecutive base runner streak for SC back in the 2nd inning when he doubled to left field all the way into the corner.
The 1-2 pitch from Marsh is on the outside half of the plate. Count moves to 2-2, and it looks like Canning had to make a little bit of an adjustment out there at center field. He was at the top of the pitchfork, but now is looking to the right side of the fork right now. Little adjustments. As Marsh delivers for the 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss from Stephen Dubb, and there's 1 out in the inning, and Marsh has looked great on the mound for the Sun Devils.
5th strikeout of the game for Alec Marsh. And we talked about it earlier in the game. His best outing of last season, he only had 2 strikeouts and 3 hitless innings. So granted, not giving up a whole lot of hits then, not giving up a whole lot of hits tonight, but the strikeouts starting to get up there in numbers for Alec Marsh in his first Friday night start in quite a while as he's starting to slide into a new role here in this rotation.
Next pitch over to Matthew Acosta for the Trojans is down low for ball 1. That's his 5th strikeout on the day, like you mentioned, Josh. He's just been locating very well, efficient pitches. See a big fastball from him that has topped the gun at 90. This one's fouled down the first base line. And for Alec Marsh, he's not the fastest pitcher in the Sun Devils lineup, but he can be very efficient when he's out there on the bump.
Yeah, he's done very well so far this season, especially today, is getting a start and having a good outing against a USC team that at times this season has been quite deadly, especially at the plate. So all in all, nice outing so far today from Marsh. And the real question is, how long does Tracy Smith want to keep him in the game?
The 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Acosta. It looked like it got him in the ankle that time, but like you mentioned, there's nobody warming up in the bullpen right now for Arizona State. However, there is in the USC bullpen. We mentioned it earlier, but Riley Lamb is getting loose in USC's bullpen. 4-0 our score here at Phoenix Muni. As the 2-2 pitch, a breaking ball that time, but it's up high. Now the count moves to full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the payoff pitch is just underway. Marsh has worked himself into a couple of full counts. Payoff pitch is swung on and missed once again, but it's going to be fouled off. So that one will be off of the bat. So the count will remain alive. Didn't really hear it off of the bat on that one, but nonetheless, Acosta able to stay alive. Once again, the payoff pitch is grounded over to Spencer Torkelson, who fields it cleanly and goes to the bag unassisted for the 2nd out of the inning.
We've seen that a couple times from Torkelson over there today. He's recorded 2 of the last 3 outs for ASU on his own. Just grounders that kind of hug the foul line a little bit. So he drifts over, scoops it up, and is able to just step on the bag right there.
Torkelson, kind of a swingman, if you will, playing the first base position. Have seen him in left field as this one is going to plunk Jamal O'Gwyn. And he's going to reach over to first on the hit by pitch, and that one caught him square in the back.
Now, if there's one facet of tonight's game where Alec Marsh, if there's one stat line that doesn't look very good for him, it's the fact that he's hit 2 batters. He hit Matthew Acosta in the 2nd inning. That loaded the bases. Now, Marsh and the Sun Devils would get out of it after a strikeout and then turning 2. But then right here, just plunks Jamal O'Gwyn, and both times he's pegged a batter today, and Acosta and O'Gwyn, neither of them have been really that close to the strike zone at all. Right in the back, and he kind of just lost control, but that brings Blake Sable to the plate, a guy who's 1 for 2, and he's been making pretty good contact with the ball in his sophomore campaign.
Yeah, and those you want to try and work inside, but that one worked a little too inside as he hits the second batter of tonight, like you mentioned, Josh, and now he has to face Blake Sable, the catcher for the Trojans today, as he looks at ball 1 on the outer half of the plate. Earlier in the contest, he doubled in the top of the 5th inning, but also hit into that double play at the top of the 2nd that was able to work the Sun Devils out of any damage. Still a shutout here at Phoenix Municipal Stadium. 4-0 our score. 3 hits for the Trojans, 6 hits for the Sun Devils. And now a 1-0 count to Blake Sable. The 1-0 is bunted down. This one's going to get over to Marsh, and he delivers over to Torkelson for the 3rd out of the inning. So a hit by pitch is Jamal O'Gwyn, but nothing going around for the Trojans as the Trojans leave one stranded, and the Sun Devils look to do some more damage in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're going to take a stretch here on Pac-12 Plus, but stick with us for more baseball to come. Gage Workman, Drew Swift, and also fellow Gage Canning is up for the Sun Devils in the bottom of the 7th inning here on Pac-12 Plus, as Workman so far 1 for 1 on the day. He walked in the bottom of the 2nd inning and then had a single, later coming around to score in the bottom of the 5th. 4-0 our score here at Phoenix Municipal Stadium, and still on the mound for the Trojans is Kyle Hurt. The 0-0 pitch over to Workman is on the outer half of the plate for ball 1. And for Workman, one of those guys that the Sun Devils have really relied on at the hot corner at third base. But the freshman has really impressed a lot of Sun Devils fans here early in his collegiate career, as a swing and a miss from him, a healthy hack on that one. Count moves to 1-1.
Yeah, there's just something about these ASU guys with the name Gage that just relate to getting triples, as Gage Canning is the current leader in the country with 23 on his career.
That one fouled off the tip of the bat of Workman. And you mentioned Gage Canning. He homered earlier in the contest in the bottom of the 3rd, and this one was a moonshot, if you will, over to the scoreboard. And I think the scoreboard really limited the distance on that one. That probably would have ended up in the practice field of Arizona State's complex here at Phoenix Muni, as that one had a lot of carry on it.
Workman known to get some triples this season as well.
Workman on the 1-2 takes a hack, and that's going to line over to the Trojan dugout, almost catching their head coach. Nonetheless, he looks okay.
Yeah, Dan Hubbs backing out of the way of that heat-seeking foul ball.
Well, he plays the hot corner and is known to have a hot bat at the plate as well. It's Gage Workman working a 1-2 count. And the next pitch is swung on and missed, so his first strike.
That brings Drew Swift to the plate. 0 for 2 today after reaching on that error by Kyle Hurt in his last plate appearance.
Swift, the victim of a strikeout in the bottom of the second. He later came around to score, like you mentioned, Josh, as he reached first on that error. And now he looks at the 0-0 pitch from Hurt as it's going to be taken for ball one. For Hurt, he's still on the mound, still a man warming up in the bullpen for USC. That's Riley Lamb. But Dan Hubbs has not called in some relief as the next pitch over to Swift is going to be down low for ball two.
Yeah, Kyle Hurt here, and yet another Friday night start for SC. He's a 6'3", 205 freshman from Rancho Santa Fe, California. Went to Torrey Pines High School. ASU with a couple guys from that area around San Diego.
Alika Williams, one of the San Diego natives from Arizona State. He's playing second today for the Sun Devils. His partner Drew Swift at the plate, and he fouls it off right there. So it's going to be 2-2 now, the count for the freshman shortstop.
A lot of Southern California natives, a lot of California natives in general on both of these teams. More so for USC, obviously. Upwards of 30 players from California.
This one's grounded over to third base, a barehanded grab, and over to first for the out. An impressive play by Armenta on that one. That's going to be the second out of the inning, but a tip of the cap to Armenta on that one, making a Nolan Arenado-like play.
Yeah, and at the plate, Angelo Armenta struggling a little bit, only hitting .232, but defensively, he just shows why he has been so reliable for the USC over in that hot corner. Charging in, barehanding the ball, and then that off-balance throw over to Paulson. And credit to Paulson as well. He's a big dude, and he was able to reach up and snag that thing. When Armenta first let go of the ball, I had a quick thought to myself, oh, please don't be an error, because that was a nice play.
First pitch over to Gage Canning is now in for a strike, 0-1. And for Paulson, you mentioned that he's a big dude. He's sitting in at 6'3" and 215 pounds. The Encinitas native, as this one is swung on and tipped foul from Canning back behind the plate. So the count moves to 0-2 with 2 outs in the inning. And Paulson really had to get up for that one, but you got to give a lot of credit to Armenta, able to field that without a glove, his bare hand, and then dipping his shoulder just enough to reach it over to first base. But now Gage Canning having to defend himself out in an 0-2 count. That one's up high, taken for ball one, trying to get him to chase that time is Kyle Hurt. Not too many strikeouts on the day for Arizona State. Hurt has thrown 3 strikeouts against the Sun Devils as he looks to get his 4th. This one's going to be spoiled off the bat of Canning, so the count remains 1-2 with 2 outs in the inning.
Hurt's a competitive guy, but so is Gage Canning. Both of them with competitiveness in their veins. Hurt's brother played football at Ole Miss. His grandfather played in the NFL. Or excuse me, his father played at Ole Miss. Grandfather playing for the Dolphins. Now Hurt here at SC. He's a freshman, already that Friday night starter, now competing with one of the nation's leading hitters.
This one swung over to first. A hot shot that time to Paulson, but is able to bobble it and field it cleanly over to first for the 3rd out of the inning as Hurt had to dash over there. Nonetheless, the Trojans escape unscathed as 3 up, 3 down. And now they look to add on some runs here late at Phoenix Municipal Stadium as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Stick with us here on Pac-12 Plus.